Is Felger and Mazz your favorite afternoon show?
Yes.
Felger and Mazz.
Final 6 seconds. Pritchard will launch a three. It is no good. The ball appropriately enough in the hands of Maxey. And a season that began with 3 straight losses that surprised nobody ends with 3 straight losses nobody saw coming. And the simply extraordinary, feel-good 83 games that came in between for the moment become consigned to an afterthought and a feeling right now that is anything but. For the first time in franchise history, the Celtics lose a 3-1 series lead, and for the first time in their franchise history, the Sixers come from 3-1 down and in the process exercise 44 years of demons and finally eliminate the Celtics. The final score in Game 7, Philadelphia 109, Boston 100.
Again, brought to you by our friends at Blue Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. I'm remote today. We got Mazz and Murray in our Town Fair Tire Studios in Waltham. Right back to you, as promised. Danny in the car. Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, Caveman, talk about stoking the fire. The duality of the situation is that between Mazzulla and JB and Tatum, this duo should win a minimum of 3 championships. And not only that, well, I understand the NBA has changed, gentlemen, but to see these guys...
What just happened?
I didn't do anything.
Me neither. We lost him. His phone died. It sounded like it just cut out.
Okay. Where do you think he was going with that?
So I would say, look, he was talking about the number of titles they won, which leads me to what you were saying earlier, that they've underachieved. They should have a second title by now. With the teams they've had and the chances they've had and the cracks they've had at it, and also whom they've lost to. They lost to Golden State when they were the better team. They lost to Miami. They lost to the Knicks, and now they lost to these guys. And, Mike, they almost lost to Miami twice.
Listen,
Jimmy Butler front-rimmed it on a three-pointer. Otherwise, Miami to beat them that time, too.
Damn straight. And I put the Warriors on that list. They should have won that series. No, they've officially reached underachiever status with this group, given the talent of the guys on the floor. The call board is so slammed. I think I'm just jammed up here, Jimmy Stewart. If you could pop up Nick on the Cape. Excuse me, Nick on the Cape. Go ahead, Nick. What do you got?
Hey, guys. Unacceptable. This Celtics team is unacceptable. And I don't want any green team magic leprechaun dust sprinkled on this season to try and tell me it was some sort of a gap year. No, everything from the ridiculous starting lineup, the lack of adjustments shows to us, and the post-game comments, throw in those ridiculous post-game comments from Mazzulla. It all shows they just do not care about winning enough, and something has to change. I was at the game on Saturday night. I'm watching the coaches during the second half, during timeouts, right? We got Mazzulla and 3 coaches standing out by the elbow, no clipboard, no huddle, no player in sight, no adjustments. I start with the coach, but I think everything should be on the table this offseason.
Okay, Nick, thanks for the call. Something else we were talking about off the air, Jimmy and I. Jaylen Brown apparently didn't find out about Jason Tatum's injury until 45 minutes before the game. Mazz, do you know that?
Yeah, I heard that too, yeah.
So that's another thing. Like, it's not just poor communication by the coach, but like, if you've got a real coach who knows how to deal with humans, or I don't know, maybe he's just so in the bag for Tatum, he doesn't really have a good relationship with Brown. I don't know. But like, if that were a real coach and you know that Tatum's out, don't you get to Jaylen Brown as early as possible and you sort of look him in the eye and you say, "It's about you tonight, big fella. It's all on you. We need you."
Of course.
I think you start talking about contingency plans even after Game 6 while the status was up in the air.
But I'm just talking about like reaching someone as a human.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And having that moment where this is all about you. It's been about you. We believe, whatever. Like, you do that thing, which I think a good coach would do. Like, I think if Pat Riley knew that one of his best players was out, he would go to his other good player immediately and sort of get in his face and connect with him as an athlete, about the stakes and get him in a place where Mazzulla, it's probably not even on his mind. Like, there's something not right about that thought either, that Jaylen Brown didn't know until right before the game.
Yeah, and in fact, you know what? And look, I'm with you with the whole, it's on your shoulders now, carry us there. Like, challenge the guy.
Right.
Appeal to his competitiveness, especially a guy like Brown, and challenge him. On top of that, don't they kind of owe it to him to let him know what's going on? Like, he's as important, especially if Tatum's banged up at the end of Game 6. Hey, look, just keep it on your radar. Okay, we're going to, we want to make you part of this process. You need to be aware of what's going on here because you need to lead us. So, there's so many reasons to keep him dialed in on the thing, and it certainly doesn't appear like they did.
Dan's in Springfield. He joins us next. Hi, Dan.
Yeah, for comparisons, Detroit being a 1 and the Celtics being a 2, both playing 7 games. Detroit took 208 threes. Celtics took 323. 115 difference. That averages out to 16 threes a game that the Celtics are shooting more of. And they shot 54% on 2-pointers. Makes more sense to shoot twos when you're making it that well.
230, Mike. The Celtics took 93 more 3-pointers in the 7 games.
So you had that number ready for. I was curious what the Sixers shot.
Because I looked it up last break. 323 to 230. So again, what about the 3-point attempt rate?
Yeah, Joe.
Take that one and blow it out your ears. God, again, they took 100 more threes than Philly did in the series. And you know what that translates into? Philly beat you taking 2s. You dumbass.
Derek in Foxborough. Hi, Derek.
Yeah, so I looked this up. So since 2019 Raptors, every team that's won a title has fired their coach subsequently, except the Warriors, and Kerr might be on his way out there, and the Celtics. I don't think firing the coach is the answer. You saw what happened with the Bucks with Budenholzer. They got worse after they fired him. The Nuggets with Malone, they bounced in the first round without him. So I think the bigger problem is Tatum hasn't gone the 3 times they've been eliminated under Mazzulla. He needs to stay healthy. That's a much bigger problem than shooting threes.
Oh, you're so wrong.
You are wrong.
You're so wrong.
I mean, look, everything's a secondary problem to health, but they should have won this series. They could have won this series in 5 games.
Come on. They couldn't have put him away with Tatum, just like they couldn't put the Knicks away with Tatum. So what are you talking about? They were going down in those series. The momentum on this thing, I mean, maybe if Tatum plays, they win Game 7. I don't know, but I don't have a heck of a lot of faith in it. They were going down the drain with Tatum in this series, just like last year, Dean, because of how they play.
I mean, as soon as a team gets in their face, they crack.
Which happens to jump shooting teams.
Yes.
That's typically the way that you can push those teams around. Mentally, physically, that's what those teams are meant to do. Those teams that just sit out and shoot jump shots are meant to be taken down like that. And it's happening to you over and over and over again. Cam and Taunton on Jaylen Brown. Hi, Cam.
Yeah, first of all, Mazzulla, it feels the same way when you won the championship. That's why you were parading the trophy through the North End after you won, right? And that's why you called the parade the best day of your life. What a load of crap that was. But on Brown, I was saying all day yesterday on Twitter I don't want to trade him. Now I'm open to it after hearing these comments. This was the best year of your – I understand you had a great year personally in terms of your standing in the league. But to come out the day after – you just suffered the biggest collapse in the history of your franchise and say it was your favorite season ever is a loser's mindset. Imagine if Jorge Posada said after the 04 LCS, yeah, guys, this was the favorite year of my career. That's basically the same thing as what Brown did. That is a loser's comment, and take the calls. And you know what? Send them to Milwaukee. I don't care anymore. Goodbye.
It's selfish. They're just selfish and not team-oriented and not what a winner would say. You just got bounced one and done by a team that's not in your class. And you're saying it's the most fun you've ever had playing? And you wish you had played like that more in that game? Ugh.
Awful look. And doing it the next night, too. It's also weird, too. Like, why did you feel the need to have to do this and say that?
And so it's also just such a direct reflection on Tatum. Tatum's not in the game. So he's out. They lose, and Jaylen Brown is still carrying on about how much he liked it. And how much he liked the way that they played and the way that they looked and the fire that they showed and the heart that they showed and the play style. I mean, that's whether he meant it or not, it's a direct shot at Jason Tatum. Horrible job by him coming off of that loss. Horrible. Back with more right after these words.
Mike and Tony have a definite chemistry.
Are they? 100%.
Are they?
Yes, 100. Do I study?
Do you consider them the periodic table of sports talk?
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Sorry. We need to blow a gasket.
No. Blow it, baby. Blow it.
Felger and Mazz.
Byram will give it back to Dahlin. He will settle back behind the Buffalo net, and the Sabres on their bench start to high five and come out onto the ice to celebrate as they win Game 6 here at TD Garden 4-1 and take the series 4 games to 2 as the Bruins come out off of their bench and go and congratulate Jeremy Swayman on what was a terrific series for him. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Buffalo ends the Bruins season here on their home ice. Sabres win all 3 games here at TD Garden in this series.
Welcome back to the program. What are you laughing at, Mazz?
I'm laughing at you chewing. What do you got?
I'm snacking, yeah.
You scarfed down a couple of chocolate chip cookies or something?
Yep, little snack. Yep, you got me. Sorry, I was snacking. Back to your phones. Here's Derek in there.
You look like Zoe.
Derek, what do you got? I said, Derek, what do you got?
No Derek.
No, I think
Okay.
we crapped out.
How about Zach in Medford? Go ahead, Zach. What do you got?
Hey, thanks, guys. Tough one Friday night. I mean, that half-ass back check, what led to that third goal, I mean, I just turned the TV after that. Obviously, in the offseason, if you're Don Sweeney, you're looking at the current roster, you're like, okay, we got to add some talent. We got to add some goal scorers. Jason Robertson is currently a restricted free agent. He's got a $7.5 million price tag on him. I think the Bruins have $40 to $50 million in cap space for this upcoming season. So, yeah, if you're Don Sweeney and you got the current roster, who are you looking at to negotiate a deal with Dallas? Your thoughts?
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
So, excuse me. So, I don't know how much Ty Anderson has told me they're kind of up against it. I don't know how much cap space they have. Now, if you can send money out, you can bring money in. Well, Robertson there in Dallas is a young, high-end offensive player. A little soft, but that would be a target. They have to obviously upgrade the talent. First things first. First order of business is tomorrow night. You know what tomorrow night is, Mazz?
Tomorrow night's the lottery, right? Yeah.
The annual porking of the ping pong balls.
Good, very good.
I'm pretty sure. I guess I should double check that, but I thought it was tomorrow. Can we?
It is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the 5th. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I remember reading May 5th. Yeah.
So it's tomorrow. That's a big one. There's a better than 50 chance that Toronto falls out of that 5 spot, and if so, you get the pick. If they land at 6 or 7, you get it. And there's like I can't remember, like 56% chance that happens. So it's like coin flip tomorrow that you come out of it with the top 7 pick. That's a huge swing there, Mazz. You know, drafting 7, let's just say they get 6 or 7. Like so for the second straight year with a top 10 pick back-to-back with Higgins versus I think that Toronto pick conveys to something even maybe 2 years from now.
2028, I believe it is. Yeah.
So, like, that's a big swing. Those are some big ping pong balls tomorrow. So start with that. Otherwise, really vastly improving the team in the free agent market or the trade market, it's going to be hard. But I think they desperately need to do it, and I think they're going to have to swallow some money. I would work really hard to swallow some money and trade someone like Hampus Lindholm or Elias Lindholm. Those are easy ones. I don't know how much money you'd have to swallow, but whatever it takes to move those slots, move those contracts, and bring in some fresh talent. And if it's Robertson, it's Robertson. Sorry, Mazz.
No, it's okay.
I stuffed my face with chips just before we came.
It was a good little gurgle.
Sorry. Dakota and Braintree. Go ahead, Dakota. What do you got for us today?
I don't know where to begin, so I'm going to narrow it down to a few things. And then one, just don't ask me any specific numbers because I'm just going to paraphrase with my second point. For one, Brown, I love how he tried to battle Embiid, but the problem with Brown playing Embiid is it wears him down offensively. So you're going to lose a lot from Brown, who you desperately needed with Tatum out of that game. That's a coaching thing. Okay, so Missoula, Brown, they got together and said, well, I'm going to take Embiid because, Ron Harper Jr. is the only other tall guy out there. Whatever it is, bad decision. That's on Missoula. Secondly, it's not always about, if you look historically, and I did this, I took way too much out of my time today to look at these numbers. You know how they have a defensive passer, like QB rating or whatever in the NFL?
Yeah.
And what leads to, like, the Super Bowl champion is that passer rating differential?
Yeah, yes.
It's the same thing for three-point efficiency, defense versus offense. So it's not as well as you shoot, but it's how you defend. So if these analytical junkies over on Causeway really want to build an NBA championship, go do some AI modeling on the NBA champions on the differential of how you defend the three and how you score the three. Taking all the shots are fine, Mike, but as long as you defend, it's going to net out. But with the Celtics shooting 5 to 10 more three-pointers a game, having a negative differential, which they did in this series, was the reason they lost.
So I just still reject that too, Dakota, because you're playing with big sample sort of analytics versus the situation we've been over several times here today. 99-98, 3:30 left. You cut it to a 1-point game after Kata hits 2 free throws, and you've got 3 trips up the floor with the same score to go ahead. Philly started missing on their end. Embiid missed a little hook shot underneath the basket. Then he took a corner 3. Embiid did miss that. And then Paul George got blocked by Jaylen Brown at the rim. So the Sixers came down, leading by 3 straight possessions. Came up short all 3 possessions. Now you go down the other end. You huck up 2 threes, miss them, and Jaylen Brown missed what was a good look and a good shot, a free throw jumper. So he gagged on that one. But that's what I care about. Now it's time to win the game. And what kind of shots are you taking? And you just kick to the open 3 because that's what the formula says? Well, what about the scoreboard and the time of game? When you got Kata underneath for a dunk, you still want the corner 3? Why? Get the points. So that's the 3-point differential, Mazz. I don't know. To me, it's about when you need a bucket, what do you got? And the Celtics still just defer to the formula too often.
I mean, look, if you need 2 points to go ahead, and just by logic, you have a higher chance of making a 2 than a 3. Why would you shoot the 3? I mean, isn't it that simple?
Yes.
So the Celtics can look at it all they want and say, well, that's a 36% shot from I don't give a rat's ass what it is. If you're going to shoot 30% out there or 50% in here, stay in here. Like that, it's just logic.
When you need a point.
Right, when you need one point.
Steve in West Roxbury on the Bruins, something we haven't hit on today. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Mike, I wanted to ask you what you thought about the Charlie McAvoy slew-foot trip at the end of the game from Zach Benson. I know a lot of the Buffalo media felt that McAvoy had that coming. He had a cheap shot on Josh Stone on the third goal with a high check to the head. Body slammed a player right before Josh Norris's empty net goal. I want to know what you think about it. I know you've been critical of Charlie McAvoy before, but was this something you think he was right to retaliate about the way he did, even if it cost him suspension, or is this par for the course with him?
He should be suspended for the tomahawk chop he took at him after the fact. And so, yeah, he probably got slew-footed. He also low-bridged a guy earlier in the series with, I thought, was a real cheap, questionable hit. I know it was a loser move by Charlie McAvoy. Did he go at him with 2 hands because of the slew-foot or because he lost and sucked? Once again, was on the ice for 2 big goals against and lost and got his lunch handed to him on that third goal. So what was the real reason Charlie McAvoy took a 2-handed chop to the guy? So I think McAvoy should be suspended for that.
I mean, you can't do that. You can't weaponize the stick. Can't do it.
I'm not saying like a 2-week or like a game or 2, but
he should probably get 2 to 3 games. I guess they just said the in-person hearings next Monday at the NHL office.
Oh, in-person means he's probably going to get something, as he should. You can't do that. It was a loser move. He did it because they lost again, is why he did it. Not that he was sticking up for himself or retaliating or anything. He was being a bad sport, bad loser, poor loser, was what that was. Here's Murray's update. We're back with the final segment of your wonderful thoughts, calls, and emails.
Oh, yeah!
Thoughts, calls, emails.
Oh, yeah!
I get my jollies out of it. I do. I'm not a good person. Go ahead.
Felger and Mazz.
Oh, yeah!
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Will there be a review of how you got the style? I mean, if it's so blatant where you hit 3-pointers, you win, and you miss 3-pointers, you lose, like, can you live with that? Can you just continue to do that?
I mean, we're always going to play to the strength of what our roster is. I think is the best way to be able to do that, And again, if you take a look at the box score, they shot 39% from 3. So I think going back to duality, it's always funny when, we lose games by shooting 26, but the other team shoots 39, and they're like, what are you going to do about it? It's like, well, the other team made 39. You know what I mean? So the duality of, like, you got to make them. They shot 40% from the game. We shot 26. But we're always going to play to the style of the strengths of the roster that we have and whatever that looks like. If we go out and get 5 big men that can post, we'll post it every single time. We go out and get a bunch of guys that do whatever they do. We'll do whatever we got to do to win.
It's a lie. He doesn't believe it. He's on record. Most important stat in basketball is 3-point attempt rate. That's what it is.
We'll do anything to win except adapt or change your play style. How about that?
Very good, Murray. If they got a big guy, they'd put him out on the line, is what they would do, like everyone does. The Celtics just take it to an extreme that cannot win in this league. They've taken the 3-point thing to an extreme that does not win. No one has ever won at the rate that they shoot it, and no one ever will, I don't think. But the duality, he keeps going about the duality.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
Oh, my God. Let's do a quick email here, Jimmy, if we could, please.
It's the Coleman Electric email of the day. Dear Felger, I really hate you, and I think Mazz is a boob. It's electric. The Coleman Electric email of the day. It's electric. Send yours to Felger at 985thesportshub.com.
Email of the day brought to you by Coleman Electric. A bunch of really good electricians helping homeowners like you. When you need an electrician, call Coleman. It's electric.
It's electric.
KUHLMAN. Panel replacements. Old wiring. Got to come out. It's a fire hazard. They're also a Generac dealer, the preferred Generac dealer in Boston. So if you need a generator, that's the brand, and that's the place to go get it. Subject line, the duality of the Celtics, writes Frank. Hey, Felger, the duality of the Celtics right now is that they somehow both suck and blow at the same time. Honestly, the best case scenario for new ownership is exactly what happened. Make the playoffs, get bounced early, and now they've got the perfect excuse to move one of the Jays and start trimming that payroll. Couldn't have scripted it any better if they tried. Frank in Bedford. On the ownership, let's not spare them, Mazz. They gutted the roster, and again, they were encouraged to do so. I've never seen this before. By their fans and their media, with encouraging and supporting and applauding them for saving the owners' money and the private equity guys that bought this team, saving them money. And again, it's not just the aprons, which come with some basketball penalties, but it's the taxes, which are just pretty much taxes. It's just money. And you all encouraged, not you all, but a lot of people and certainly media encouraged them, supported them, and applauded them, trimming payroll. I've never seen it before. Talk about a classic green team experience, though, Mazz, when it comes to the media. Every other team in town, Robert Kraft cheaps out. We get all over him. John Henry gets eviscerated for what he spends or doesn't spend. The Bruins have a decades-long history of battling their fans over what they spend. We're on all these teams over what they spend. The Celtics cut payroll, save themselves money, and the green teamers applaud it. Nothing says Celtics more than that. But, Mazz, if people think they're going to add payroll, I doubt it. I mean, we've talked about this before. To really get out of those repeater penalties and to really reset the payroll as it relates to aprons and taxes and all of that, they have to do it 2 years. It's 2 years out of 4, right, Jimmy?
That sounds right, yes.
I think that's right, yeah.
So in one of these next 2 years, they have to do it again. So they're not adding payroll. And if you add payroll next year and then win at a high level, it's going to be hard to deal it away. It's going to be a hard thing to do to your fans. So just say, they sign some players, they go into the tax again, and then they win a championship. That's going to be a really hard thing to do, to peel off championship pieces to get back under the tax. No, they're going to get under the tax next year. So if you think they're adding, I don't think that's the plan. The plan is to really do it right, quote unquote. They have to do it next year as well. So they're not adding payroll, which lends to this Giannis thing, Stu. Do you think this Giannis thing is for real?
Yeah, and I felt that way for a long time. That the Celtics, people in the Celtics have loved Giannis. They want Giannis. They think they can get Giannis.
And while keeping Brown and Tatum.
That I'm not so sure about nowadays, but there is a package potentially that works mathematically to get Giannis and put him with Tatum and Brown.
And stay under the tax.
Yes.
Okay, and that is basically everything in draft picks other than Tatum and Brown.
So not necessarily everything. It would be White, Hauser, and then you can do match money with whatever you're re-signing Vujovic for, and then draft picks.
Okay. So you guys want Giannis?
If you're telling me to add him to Tatum and Brown, my answer is yes. I'll take him. But that, again, we've had this discussion, but just so for the benefit of people who didn't hear it, but I want Giannis to play like a center. I want him to play down near the basket. If Giannis can commit to basically being the guy that defends Embiid and protects the rim and, scores inside the three-point line, absolutely I would do it. I think it would make them a tremendous team. But that's the caveat. He's got to be willing to do that.
I wish he was younger, and there's obvious injury concerns, but sure. Yeah, I mean, I would take him. I don't think it's going to be with the three of them, though. I mean, after Brown goes on a stream last night and basically throws a tantrum being like, I should be the number one. I'm the best. This is the most fun season ever, even though we just lost 3-1 for the first time in 80 years in franchise history. So I think he's going to be gone. So Tatum, Giannis, again, I wish both of them didn't have the injury histories that they do, but I could live with it.
I'm a hard no on Giannis because I think that Achilles and that calf is a ticking time bomb. And as soon as you trade anything for him, it's going to blow up. And now you've lost Giannis and other players for 2 seasons.
It's one reason to do it. Injury concern. I think it's real with Giannis. Absolutely. But it's more play style, Mazz. I don't know. He plays the 4. They've always had it's either Brook Lopez or now it was Evan Turner. So he doesn't play the 5. He doesn't match up against opposing centers. I don't know if he ever really has. So that's not something he's ever done, and I doubt it's something he wants. He wants to play like a wing. He thinks he's Durant, even though he can't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't see the fit. Now, if they can give him talk about an attitude adjustment, someone who needs a total attitude, he's going to have to be a glorified role player. He's going to have to be a souped-up version of Rob Williams, honestly. And now, I'm not saying that he's going to be bodying Joel Embiid, but as an off-ball defender and a rim protector, off-ball rim defender, he can do that. But it's not going to be playing the 5. And he has some low post moves. He just doesn't want to go down there. He wants to face the basket and, play off the wing, which is just, I just don't see the fit. I don't get it. I think it'd be sexy. Brown, Tatum, Giannis. That'd be good for business.
Sure.
Be sexy and fun to talk about and see how that all played out. Tremendous star value. That'd be great for your fans. That put asses in the seats and eyeballs to the television and all of that. So, I'm for it on that level, but I don't think from a basketball sense, I don't know. Unless, again, he's not going to play the 5, but can you get him to play more like a true power forward or someone who plays low on the block? Can you get him to do that?
Right. So that's what I really mean is I just want him to play near the rim on both ends of the floor. So whether he's the 4 or the 5, you can always cheat and come over and help and whatever. It's really, I wouldn't call Porzingis your classic center either, but he sort of gave you some of that at both ends of the floor. But I'll say this, if it involves trading Tatum or Brown, I'm out. I have the concerns about the Achilles thing with him, too. I want him as the 3rd guy. That's what I want him as. If he's the 2nd guy, no. I keep Tatum. In fact, I told you, I'm inclined to keep Tatum and Brown together. I'm just after this thing again. This is how many failures can they have? And you keep sending the roster back out there. If it requires looking for deals for one of those 2 guys, then I start looking.
Something has to give. It either has to come in the coaching staff, the basketball department, the analytics department, how they play. They've got to change the way that they play, or they got to change their players. So, they just can't roll it back with the same coach, the same dopey philosophy, and the same players. I think the sample is in. If other than that one-off outlier year where they were never challenged, we know what's going to happen. They're going to get challenged. They're going to get pushed around. They're going to shoot themselves out of games. And the offense is going to break down, whether it's by the dopey three-point shooting or the offense just gumming up because it's either Brown or Tatum and no real team offense. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's happened for years. And that's what you're destined for unless you change the philosophy or the players.
Right.
Something has to give.
So you just said they can't just roll it back. What do you think they're going to do?
Brown's going to get traded.
Jalen's going to get moved.
Yeah, you think so, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I think they're going to roll it back.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
I do.
I think they're going to roll it back.
Yeah, me too. They're going to look at it and say, yeah, Tatum wasn't 100%. We're better. Shireman and those guys had never played in the playoffs before. They get some experience in doing it now. We make one sort of upgrade and get ourselves a better Vucevic. Then, something like that. We'll be okay. We'll be right there. That's what they're going to do. Because most teams take the conservative path, and it's the wrong thing to do.
And the Celtics like the smell of their own farts.
Yep, they do.
I just think that they're we're not going to be like every other team and just overreact and fire a coach and, change everything up because we missed a couple shots at the end of a game. We're smarter than that. We can be more patient than that. They're going to play that card. So, yeah, I'm with Mazz. I bet they do nothing. Which, again, hey, welcome to it. Enjoy a 6-game loss in the first or second round of Cleveland next year, because that's coming. Let's do the final word then, shall we? Hey, it's Felger here.
Now on Felger and Mazz.
It's the final
word. Recapping this 4-hour show in 4 minutes, which leads to the question, does it really need to be 4 hours long?
No.
Final word brought to you by Town Fair Tire. If you're looking for the best deal on tires, there's only one place to go. Town Fair Tire, the best prices and great free services. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire.
Nobody, Jimmy.
It was a week without Mazz with so much going on, so we got the re-entry of one Tony Maserati today.
Oh. To say that you have the same emptiness as you won a championship is asinine. That is utterly, completely, totally, 100% asinine. It was an empty feeling when you won the world championship. Is that what he told the guy from the Wall Street Journal when they were yanking each other for the math and the winning with the math? Remember that story? Oh God, please spare me the bull crap. Some of those guys don't belong in the freaking league. Porter, are you kidding me? That's it. And Garza, those freaking guys are starting in Game 7. How the hell did this happen? What the hell was that?
You meant Harper, not Porter. But
sorry, yes.
Yeah,
Harper.
Ron Harper Jr. What's the difference? I don't even know what Porter you're talking about, but what does it matter?
Terry Porter Jr. Holy crap. Seriously, Hack City. So now you got young guys and old guys on the team disagreeing. So get ready for this. Because if they keep losing, there's going to be this thing that exists where the old guys, who basically are Cora's guys, versus the young guys who are Chad Tracy's guys. And this is what the whole year is turning into. They're a complete freaking poop show. They're a dumpster fire, and it's going to get worse. Mark my words.
Good to have you back, Mazz.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be here.
I missed you.
Came in hot.
Well, it's not like I didn't miss anything.
So we have the baseball hour, Mazz. Yeah, right, exactly. You missed a really big week for the Sox. So what do you got?
So I want to get back to the Alex Cora firing, the coaching staff comments made by Kennedy and Breslow. I want to catch up on a lot of things and tie it into some of the stuff that happened at Fenway Park yesterday. I think this is going to be a long, long year. I don't think this is going to get much better for the Red Sox over the rest of the season.
I hope it gets real ugly, like one player punches another type thing. Like we could get that.
Yes.
Murray, I legitimately think they're in the running for the number one pick. I do. They're a game behind the Mets for the worst record in baseball. This lineup blows. They got pitchers dropping left and right all over the place. They got hacks in the bullpen who are going to cough up games if they are close in the late innings, whether it's Zach Kelly or my Paisan Weissert or whoever else. Like that, they got places all over the place where they can throw up on themselves.
Either way. We'll be here to hammer them on a daily basis. And it begins with the baseball hour coming up in about 5 minutes. First, a word from our sponsors. And we're all back at it tomorrow at 2 p.m. for Felger and Mazz. See you guys then.
See you. Bye.
Bye.